topic today is supposed to be about perception of people and how quickly or how weirdly someone's public persona can be kind of cleaned or not even cleaned up, forgotten about, and how they can become something entirely different, even in the day and age of 2024 when we have the Wikipedia.
Yeah, like
everything's available.
Yeah.
The inspiration for this is Nara Smith and Lucky Blue Smith. They're like whole thing. I was supposed to make a video on it because people were asking me to make a video on it, kind of like a video essay, and I didn't want to do it because the tides were way too turned, let's say it that way. Like
yeah,
they were
they're not worth your time. Like
yeah, and it's also like I didn't have much to say in that sense because like she's basically just like Mormon propaganda. Like what else am I supposed to say? And like the funniest thing is that I don't know, it seems like people in the like in North America in general are really easily swayed by that type of shit. Like for some reason pretending to be some kind of granola bullshit like really works for them.
Yeah.
Pretending to be all like I'm making everything from scratch really works for them. The like, whole Jesus thing works for them. I don't understand. It's like so close to their culture because I feel like since I think that because they're such a young country, they haven't had much history. They didn't have anything pagan times that they switched to something else and then they switched to something else and then they had this and that had that. It's like way too close to the state, the whole religious thing. But regardless of that,
that's why so many dumb cults have been able to thrive in America.
Yeah, like they come up with a new type of Christianity every day.
Like 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Honestly.
It's crazy. But in any case, the reason why I even wanted to talk about this is because Nara and Lucky, like their whole thing, it was so clearly them trying to make Mormon shit look cool.
Yeah.
Without even like mentioning Mormonism. And only like addressing it on the offensive.
Defensive. Yeah.
Where they would only talk about it when they were like directly asked about it or when there was another wave of people being like, guys, you need to stop with this because Nara is like a Mormon or whatever the hell, right? Yeah. And it's especially bad because she's a woman of color. And it's kind of like, okay, well, have you read it?
If you know anything about, or if you've ever read the Book of Mormon, you already know why that's so stupid.
Also, it's so like we literally were, and sorry to say, but we were giggling reading it. People were really, really surprised with the whole election thing going on that they voted for Trump. Okay? They were surprised. I was like, you can't be fucking serious. Like, I literally tweeted about it being like, you guys didn't know, or did you forget how Lucky Blue was literally dick riding Trump since he was 16? Since Lucky Blue was 16, not Trump.
Might as well be the same thing. I don't know, man.
Lucky Blue's spirit before he was born.
I don't know, man. His sister's named Piper America. Really,
it's
guys?
So crazy. Like, what kind of clown shit is this?
Sorry, the Book of Moroni makes me laugh so much.
His name is Moroni? You called him a moron and you just went with it?
Hella Man? Book of Hella Man? Dude, Book of Enos?
No, there was another one that was so funny. It wasn't the book of that person, but I think it was like one of the characters.
Yeah, it was one of the... And they are characters.
They are. I mean, what are you... It's this guy who literally came in like 18th century to America and was like, actually, Jesus was here.
Yeah, and he could not... I'm pretty sure he couldn't read, right?
Dude, I don't even know. I think he wasn't even writing it. Someone else was writing it while he was dictating it, and you can tell.
Yeah,
and you can tell there's no revisions there. he just yapped for hours, and he told everyone, "I went to this hill and got this shit from God." And
God
like,
handed
this is how
him
we're supposed to
down.
live. And like, since I said so, now I can have multiple wives, and they are all gonna be children.
Yeah,
I was baffled by the reaction of people. Like, literally, the tweets were like, "Oh, you guys, Nara and Lucky voted for Trump. Pack it up, like wrap it up, you know, like whatever. Like the good times are over." And I was like, "The good times?
There was good times.
There was good times." I mean, honestly, I swear to fuck. I mean,
I'm gonna make you a black eye from scratch.
she's
if you
literally
say shit like that.
dude, it's so stupid. Like, what do you mean? She had her first baby at the age of 18. You wanna tell me this is normal? No, not in our time anyway. But honestly, even back then, it wasn't normal. It's like it's a myth that it was normal. And like, I genuinely cannot with people completely forgetting, not even forgetting, bitch. Let's be for real. You didn't have to know that Lucky Blue already had this scandal about him being a Trumpy. Like, you don't even have to have this prior knowledge. Let's say it that way. You can just look at them.
Yeah.
She's had 3 or 4 kids already.
And she just turned 23, I think.
Yeah.
And
You think that's not a sign that something is off? She hasn't even, like, her brain hasn't developed fully, and she's been pregnant ever since she became an adult. Every year.
Literally.
And every year, like, if you are having a baby, the year that you're pregnant, there's also the year when you're not pregnant, but you're, like, feeding and stuff like that, which is also just as fucking annoying and a nuisance and takes away from your life. 2 years of your life wasted. And I mean, like, if you want to waste it, that's cool. Especially if you like the baby. Like, if the baby is cool, that's great. if the baby is chill, like, yeah. I love it for you. But the problem is that, like, this isn't a chill thing. It's a very, very draining thing. And we have to call it what it is. I feel like what I actually found to be the biggest betrayal of my life was that I realized that, like, a lot of women in my family and, like, older women around me when I was a kid, they would be talking about pregnancies. They would be talking about, like, their birth stories and stuff. But it would always, first of all, why would you tell that to a child? But whatever. But they would always talk about it, and they would only say it in a way where it sounded like it was just like a day when they were, like, doing fun things or whatever the hell. And then when I grew up, they still tell me the same shit. And I was talking to my grandma and I was like, why didn't you tell me that this and this happened?
Dude, at least you didn't have... Let me tell you about when I learned about birth. It was, like, literally a fucking slideshow. And it was, like, literally me or my brother being ripped out, like, full frontal, bloody, in the arms of an angel.
What the hell?
And it's, like, my brother's dome just coming out of my mom's 4-inch ripped vagina. Fly away. I'm like,
what's wrong with you, dude?
I'm like,
Who showed you this? Your mom?
my aunt.
Oh my god. Why would you even take pictures of that?
I don't know, but hey, I had a realistic, you know what, they tried to, like, I had a realistic, like, they were like, this shit ain't pretty, but they did put the background music, which really did help. And the old Microsoft transitions, like,
so the music was actually there. You weren't just, like, adding it in post right now.
I'm saying it was a slideshow.
Oh my
I don't
god!
know I don't know how much more clear it could be. The 3D, you know, that 3D old transition that's like a 3D cube with all the photos. It'll, like, flip to in the arms, and it's like a me fucking blue because I had my umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. Fly away.
And she was flying away.
They literally thought, well, like, I think they made that slideshow because, like, they thought I was dead for like a good, for a while. That's what the best thing my aunt could come up with. It's like there wasn't even a single photo of me just, like, in the fucking, like, basket thing. What is it? An incubator, whatever. I don't know. With, I don't know, clothed perhaps, swaddled perhaps. No, it was just me coming out of my mom's bloody.
Dude, I'm gonna have to.
Hey, don't cut
censor this.
Okay, but, like, you gotta leave it in. It's
no.
fucking
I'm not
funny.
gonna cut it out, but I'm gonna censor it because, dude, we need the money.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's fucking 5 cents, because this is not lucrative.
This
is not lucrative.
This is the opposite of lucrative.
It's still, like, you know, I don't want it to be demonetized. In any case, like, I was just, like, so pissed off because I was talking to my grandma and I was like, why the hell would you guys just say that it was like, oh, and I woke up and I had this and then we went to the hospital and we packed the bags, and, like, they would never say any of the bad things.
Yeah, and I feel like
Oh, you almost died.
yeah,
Oh,
that it's a risk every time.
yeah.
And that's why
Yeah, it's a risk every time, but it's also like she was literally bleeding out.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's normal for you?
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking? And then my grandma was literally like, oh yeah, it's because I know you're not gonna want to have them if you know. And I'm like, oh, so you just want me to be traumatized? You just want me to actually go through it without knowledge?
Yeah, and I also think too that people like, I mean, Nara Smith, obviously like they're trying to force Mormonism down our throats, like in a subliminal way, even though it's not. It's very obvious. But I feel like everyone's like, yeah, it's the most beautiful thing in the world to give. Like, I'm sure like having a child, like when you have your child, it's like, oh my God, you love them so much. It's a great thing. But don't say that. Okay, there's two things I hate. Don't say that giving birth is the most beautiful thing in the world. Because yeah, like you said, you guys just are lying.
You get ripped apart.
Get ripped to shreds.
To shreds. And like, I just cannot fucking deal with how people talk about it.
And second of all, no, your baby isn't beautiful out the womb. They look like an alien.
I know. Why are you lying?
They look like, and I can say this, okay? Because I would say that about myself. I say it about my brothers all the time. Why do I look like a shriveled up naked mole rat? And you want to say I'm beautiful?
Dude, yeah, I know that in a couple of months I became beautiful. Sure.
Yeah.
But that moment, seriously, bitch, like, be for real. Like, I understand the parents when they say that, but when they expect everyone else, when they see the pictures, to go, oh, so cute, are you fucking kidding me? At least wait until they look presentable. Why are you forcing me to lie to you? Don't force me to lie. I literally had like this conversation with my mom because like she was showing me my cousin's babies when they were just like the pictures, just what, you know, the first day or whatever, and I was like, oh God. And like my grandma was like, Lisa, no, they're beautiful. And my grandpa also was like, no, the babies are gorgeous. And I'm like, okay, ew. You guys, I'm not saying they're gonna be ugly.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying right now they are.
Yeah, like
it's not a big deal. They just came out of the inside of a person.
I would never call them ugly. That's part my DNA, you know. But they are ugly right now.
Yeah. Like,
and that's fair.
It's not. They're not ugly because they're ugly. It's ugly because of the state they're in.
Let's go back to Mormonism.
I kind of want to actually talk about the reason why it's so easy for them. It was so easy to like infiltrate the culture, and why actually so many things that are religious in nature permeate culture in such a way where people don't even acknowledge it as a religious thing. They don't even know sometimes that it's a religious thing. Of course, it's like partly because people are weirdly stupid. I need people to try a little. I can't do no more. The past, I don't know, the past forever, I think I don't have the patience anymore. I mean, I've never had it. That's kind of my...
She wasn't born with it.
Yeah.
When she came out the womb, it wasn't there.
I was immediately like, what the fuck? Like, immediately.
You're like, hurry the fuck up and put my little cap on and swaddle me, bitch.
Yeah, like, I'm cold. And they bring out a small, tiny, little fur coat for me. That's like a little leopard fur coat.
Much better.
Today drained me.
Mother, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah, I'm ready, mother. Anyway, so and I think in the case of Nara and Lucky Blue, it's the luxury of it all, and the false image of like the nuclear family kind of thing.
Yeah.
The fact that, okay, so statistically speaking, and I looked it up, and America has an even slightly wider gap, I believe, in terms of wealth distribution. But technically speaking, Nara and Lucky Blue, they're making bank, but also their parents are also rich. So they are in the top 20% of earners in the United States for sure. So recently we actually looked up statistics, and we want to talk about it to you too, about how like the wealth distribution is right now. And we know the statistics to a T when it comes to fucking Canada. We don't know about the US exactly, like I don't remember exactly, but I looked it up and they're very close to each other, so it's basically the same shit. But Lucky Blue and Nara being in those 20%, it means that they are in a category of people who own about 70% of the wealth in the country.
Mm-hmm.
If you like, and the worst part about this is not that they own so much, which it is bad, but like that's not the worst thing. The worst thing is that the bottom 50%, so every person around you, every second person of them is living in the bracket that owns only 2.5 to 2.8% of the wealth in the entire country. And it's actually gotten worse now, because I think it dropped from 2.8, but they didn't give the exact number for it.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, the point being, when you're looking at how Nara is standing in her kitchen, her really white kitchen that looks horrific, actually. Yeah. I don't understand why no one can fucking get some taste.
It's just absolutely no life,
like,
in that space.
Pay somebody to do it if you don't know how. Yeah. Like, whatever. In any case, when she's standing in that kitchen and she's wearing her YSL slinky dress,
mm-hmm.
that cost about $7,000 to $10,000, making something from scratch or whatever, this isn't real life. And I mean, a lot of you guys are gonna, this, but a lot of people are just like buying it as something aspirational, which is like, dude, you need to be realistic. And you're an adult at this point, or like at least a lot of people who are into them
mm-hmm.
are young adults, but there are adults.
Yeah,
you're like 20 years old, but you're not fucking 12. So I'm expecting you to like have at least a little bit of like thinking ability, because they genuinely look at them and they go, this is just like aspiration. If I just make enough money, or I am gonna be in my feminine energy enough, there's gonna be someone who's gonna who's gonna make this life happen. And it's like,
if I'm in my feminine energy enough, I'm gonna be able to attract a loose jaw, toothpick fucking sucking Mormon man
with a stupid ass name like Lucky Blue.
Yeah,
whatever. In any
seriously,
case,
guys,
I don't know. And with all of this, I just think it's really strange when adults look at this and they're like not thinking, oh, where are her kids? Like, if this is just a casual morning and she's showing that she's just alone at the house and there's
mm-hmm.
no one, like no nanny, no nothing, where are the kids? Are they patiently?
Are they
like
waiting?
1-year-old patiently waiting for his mom to finish filming, making something from scratch? Like, be for real.
Dude, the craziest part is, how can you okay, so let's say one of her videos, there's one video that was like, I don't know, it was something so stupid. It was like, it wasn't the gum one, but it was like something along those lines, making my kids blank for breakfast because they're craving it, and it took her fucking 2 days to make it. So what, you guys think that they're waiting in their chairs for 2 days being like, mommy, when will we finally have breakfast from 2 days ago?
I know, right? Like, it's just so
it's common sense.
Normal.
It's not real.
Yeah. And it's just common sense, genuinely.
Yeah.
Just common sense. And you don't have to have kids to understand this. Clearly, you don't. You can just look at it and be like, how is that feasible in real life?
Seriously.
And it's not. When she showed Lucky Blue making toothpaste, and that toothpaste was basically like some nuts or some shit, I knew.
I understood.
They stink.
I understood why he needs the toothpick every day. In his mouth every day.
I'm afraid that they are
with your
a
fucking
stinky family.
Yeah, with your fucking cashew bit stuck in your teeth from your cashew toothpaste. Yeah, you're gonna need a toothpick every fucking day.
Yeah. Like, you make deodorant from scratch? Even deodorant that's not made from scratch, but it's made without aluminum, doesn't fucking work.
And then the sunscreen,
what are you talking about? Yeah.
I love the doctors that debunk the stuff that they make, the skincare stuff that they make. They'll be like, there's somebody who did the sunscreen one. They're like, please do not do this.
Yeah.
It does not protect you from shit. It's not good for you.
It's like people who are like, oh, I'm going to make myself have like a really nice tan by putting oil, but not like oil for your body, just oil from your kitchen. And it's like, oh, bitch, you're going to fry.
Yeah. Oh, you're
like,
gonna
what
fry?
are you doing? You're going to get crispy.
Like, you're gonna start smelling like chicharrones.
Okay? I know you think it makes sense. Don't do it though.
Yeah, Don't do it, guys.
Damn, like, I swear to God. And like, anyway, whatever. The point here is that they are so obvious with everything. I mean, I don't think that they think that it's obvious, because I think that it's like specifically the luxury aesthetic that's buying people so much. And it's so funny because oh my God, the amount of times I'm scrolling on TikTok and I see some bullshit, like people putting together their like bag or something, like their tumbler or whatever. Tumbler?
Like the coffee
Yeah,
thing?
what is it called? Like
Stanley?
Yeah, like they're packing their Stanley. They have like a bunch of fucking compartments that are hanging off of it or whatever, and
Oh,
it's
I saw
like
that
so
video.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, because there's so many people who aspire to it because everything looks clean in quotations, and because it is all the same color, white usually, they somehow associated with luxury. But you can see even through video that, for example, this is a cheap ass kitchen,
Yeah.
but they are like for some reason people don't have this actual sense of what is quality and what isn't.
Yep.
It's like not common sense to them in any kind of way. Like, I can look at a garment online, look at the picture and be like, okay, this is worth this amount of money.
Yeah, exactly.
And then sometimes I look at like a lot of those, like I like on Essence, there's so many things that you just look at a picture, and this girl in the picture is so skinny that anything, like she's skinny in a way that is exactly the size that they are making their samples for. Like, you can't, it shouldn't look off on her in terms of the cut of the garment, because there's nothing that's like in the way, no ass nor anything that's gonna make it stretch weird or anything. And you look at it and you're like, you can't be serious. $700?
Yeah, dude, I've had so many like pulls from Essence that the quality, like for how much it's worth, is so shocking. Like,
it's so bad.
it's like so bad to the point where it was like unusable.
Yeah.
Like, that's how bad it was, the quality. It's like, and people are paying for this.
I want to make, I don't even know if I can call it like a video essay or not, but kind of a video essay about luxury and how weird it is that like to me, when I'm talking to my grandparents and knowing that they had their own plot of land to make a summer house, and they had a summer house since they were 20 years old, while they also had a massive like 4-bedroom apartment in the city, all when they were early 20s. And all the things that they had, all the furniture, they had to, like, for example, write down their name to be like in a list to get that piece of furniture when it was like their turn. But that furniture lasted them a lifetime. Like, it's still standing and it still looks good. And I'm just sitting here like, how is that supposedly depressing? But this bullshit ass IKEA ass shit that I have to live with, that literally doesn't function well from the day I have it. It looks horrible. It doesn't have a good aesthetic at all. And like, I have to kind of just like look at it and be like, what is luxury? If they were thinking that that wasn't a luxury, but now I'm like, owning a plot of land, having a home at that young of an age, because like, it's just like, you're right.
Yeah.
It's so luxurious to me to be able to go and have a cup of coffee in your own garden. That's insane.
To have a cup of coffee, that's not.
or let's say a cup of tea, because like, who the fuck knows about like where it's even being, if it could be brought in or not or whatever. But it's like such a strange thing, because I was literally looking at the comments or tweets about that couple that like talked about how they go outside to have their coffee in the morning every day or whatever, and a lot of people got pissed at them being like, well, we don't have that or something like that. It was something along those lines. And I was just sitting there like, that was a norm. That was the norm.
It's like, not you guys getting mad over this couple having a coffee outside and time to just spend together and enjoy their coffee, but then also being like, I want to be like Nara Smith.
Yeah, like, which one is it, bitch? Like, seriously.
Really?
Yeah, and I feel like it's just the delusion of being like, this is luxury, I want to be like them, when all of those fashion brands and whatever are literally producing crap at this point.
Where I 100% agree with that.
Like, Dior bag made for $50 in Italy. in a sweatshop
in
Italy. But it is in Italy. It's just a sweatshop, like straight
Yeah.
up. They had people like living there because they weren't allowed to go home. They had to shower there.
So
And
fucked.
it costs $50 to make, yet they asked for 5,000. I mean,
anyone else watching that girl on Instagram, or not Instagram, I think she's on YouTube Shorts, I know, which is like, people are gonna roast me for watching YouTube Shorts, don't care, who is in her journey of making a Birkin bag, because like, you know how Birkin bags are like 30K plus, and she made hers for like, hers was still expensive, she made it for 90K, or 90K, sorry, what, $900. So,
okay. Jesus Christ, girl.
I'm like,
Such
sorry,
a big difference.
I'm on the Red Bull, okay?
I know,
Y'all are
and like
tripping. Y'all are tripping.
Hermes gets so much praise for not being acquired by anyone that they didn't give up their quality, and it's like they're still not worth this much.
Yeah.
And like I understand that you need to be charging a certain amount to provide a certain type of like experience or whatever, but even then it still doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Especially considering how much the CEOs are making, who are basically useless. That's why you can be a CEO of multiple companies, because you don't actually do the job.
You don't
actually do anything. So you can technically pretend and walk around in your suit in multiple buildings during the day, pretending to be a useful, contributor.
I would actually love to know what. I think about this all the time, because the companies I've been in, the two more recent ones, I'll say, in meetings, you see where they live. And obviously people just tell you how fucking rich they are every time they come to visit. They fly first class, come to visit. They just go shopping and then come see you guys at the office, and they have bags and bags of shit. Is insane. And I think, like, what do you guys even do in a day?
Nothing. That's the thing. That's what you realize when you see poor people like living their day-to-day life, people who are considered to be not working enough in the eyes of the rich, and you see that even the lazy ones are still working more than the people that you meet who are rich.
Yeah, I remember like having like a talk with like one of my bosses, and I was like, yeah, I'm just really tired, like I worked on the weekend. They're like, oh, you work another job? It's like, what, you work another job on the weekend? I'm like, yeah. They're like, they literally are so stuck in their own reality of like, everybody is like me. Everybody wants to be a Stanley Cup girl who buys like a designer stuff, lives their life la-di-da, that they think that everyone else is like that.
But it's also like the funniest thing to me, because what do you mean a Stanley Cup is a sign of fucking status to you?
Girl.
This fucking whale that you carry around in your hand? Seriously, like, what is with the taste? Like, why are they so cringe?
The taste is not there.
Just don't get it.
The taste is not there.
With Nara and Lucky Blue, the whole situation, the reason why they keep on getting away with this, every couple of years people forget and they start getting like back on their side, is because, sorry to single you out, guys, but North Americans, you guys have got really bad case of being an embarrassed future billionaire. Like, what is this mentality that all of you are gonna be like them one day, and you don't even comprehend that what you think is a lot of money that you're gonna be making is nowhere near the money that they're making. And I'm not saying that because they're better. I'm saying that they are so sick in the head that you shouldn't be even considering being like them,
anything like them,
because the things that they have done, the things that they do, and the things that they are willing to do to not only keep their wealth but to multiply it, is so evil that I honestly don't think you should be allowed to live if you think that this is normal. Because like the things that, for example, like people would literally make money off of slavery and then be like, I worked so hard for this money.
Oh god, it's
the amount of people that I met here that were telling me about how their poor parents had to leave a country that was somewhere where they weren't supposed to be there to begin with, like usually somewhere in Africa, and they're like, yeah, they had to run, or like somewhere in like Tahiti or something like that.
Yeah.
They had to run because of the revolution. It was so scary. It's just crazy that we even survived it, but now we don't have anything that we used to have. And then you literally talk to them a bit more and you realize that they're trying to get sympathy for losing their slaves.
Literally.
And they don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, I genuinely, like, whenever people are like, well, you know, you believe these things because of, like, you know, reading somewhere about it or whatever. No, bitch, it's genuinely over the years, the amount of people I ran into who had a story like this, they were either doing some evil shit here in Canada, or they were doing it in Jamaica, or they were doing it in somewhere in Tahiti or whatever, or they were doing it somewhere in South Africa.
Yeah.
The amount of motherfuckers who were doing this type of shit, and that's why they're here, it's too high. Concerning. Honestly, concerning shit. And that's why I'm like, you really need to reevaluate what you actually see as luxurious. Just having a lot of shiny shit does not even mean that it's good quality shit, that it is something that is worth even having. And it doesn't mean that if you don't have money you can't buy cheap shit. Like, you have to. What I'm saying is that you have to reevaluate whether it's actual luxury that you're saving up for to buy.
Yeah. Or even just like, it doesn't even need to be anything physical that you buy, just like what you are aspiring to.
Yeah.
Like, think a little bit more critically about that. It's crazy, like, why our brains have developed to be like fucking crows. We see some shiny shit and we're like, I want it. Like, girl, like, no, I'm sorry. The fact that everybody, and you know what, a lot of the corporate with Nara Smith and Lucky Blue, like, I have to say, all the corporations that are also probably Trump supporters and think like them are supporting them. You know, like the amount of brands that sponsor them, luxury brands, you see them in like campaigns for every second fucking brand. You know, so it's like, yeah, of course they're gonna be shoved down your throats. Like, you just have to I feel like you just have to understand that these like corps are working with them, feeding off it. Like, they're all within the same circle. They're
straight
all
up
within the same.
Straight up. Yeah.
Like, and we can't forget that. If Nara is working with fucking, she wears so much designer, like
So
crazy
much.
expensive designer.
Yeah.
You know that for like, she's wearing Dior, and you know for a fact that Dior has a literal sweatshop where people are sleeping there, starving, can't even shower. It's like, what do you think her priorities are?
That's the thing, dude. Like, it's actually, even in terms of being an influencer and having to figure out how to make money, it is so difficult to make any money as an influencer if you have like even an ounce of like a
conscience.
Yeah. Even in just in general, like any creative or fashion job or like anything like that,
it's like never ending compromise with your own fucking soul.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. Like, you have to make money, you have to live, you have to pay your bills, and because of that you consistently have to compromise. It's your own, like, what you would want to do. And it's like your morals,
your value. Like, the amount of fights and like arguments I've had the past like couple months about this topic, about like speaking up when you think things are wrong and stuff in your jobs and whatever, and the amount of feedback I've gotten in from that, like, why would you do that? It's not worth it, or it's not worth it to just like, what is that really gonna do? It's not worth making you, you know, it's only for you to like sleep well at night kind of vibe. I don't give a fuck, bro. That's the least I could do, is just fucking say something at this point.
But
And
also, like, dude, it's so discouraging that it's impossible to have security in life, to have like a proper job and whatever, without this coming up as like an issue that they consistently tell you about. Like, oh, I actually wanted to make it into an episode, but I don't think that it's whole episode worthy, but I was looking at being a producer for our news here, and I was shocked by the type of like stuff that they like, type of documents that they are showing. You have to read it before you even apply. The documents are basically saying, I think it's CBC. Yeah, I think it's CBC. In any case, when you apply, they ask you to read this document that basically tells you about like conflicts of interest and stuff like that, because you're going to be a journalist, right? So what I thought like a normal person would, I thought that what they meant was that you have to kind of have an understanding of where you are on the political spectrum and disclose that, so people know the bias and kind of, you know, because I think it's bias is inevitable. Everyone has biases, and I don't think that like pretending like you're unbiased is a way to go. I think you should be saying who you are proudly.
Yes.
Like, I am this type of person. I believe in this type of thing. So yes, when I'm going to be talking about this particular issue, I will be approaching it from a perspective of this is fucked. Yeah. Because it is fucked. Like, that's my belief, right?
Yeah, and I think people I feel like that should just be the standard.
It should be the standard.
It's what literally helps people be critical, and that's why 99.9% of people are so fucking, their brains are literally rotten. Yeah,
that's like, why they take this information just at face value.
It's crazy.
Which is crazy, because it's like every time I talk to a Canadian, they're always like, oh my god, the propaganda in Russia is probably so bad. And I'm like, yeah, yours is really bad too. Like, we actually should do something about it, like all of us collectively, about the whole fucking world, because we're so interconnected now that it is kind of like a disease that's fucking airborne and passes around the universe. And they're always like, what? Here? And I'm like, dude,
the problem isn't like separated by borders at this point. The problem,
no,
this whole world is capitalist. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, that's the problem.
It's just crazy. Like, they genuinely, it's just funny to me because they genuinely think there's no propaganda here. And it's like, girl, I need you to be serious.
It's like, you don't see that there's propaganda here. You know why? Because it's working.
Yeah.
Because it's working. It's perfect that you don't.
But you're also buying what they're selling.
Yeah.
The entire time you were buying what they were selling.
It's a two-way street, right?
The document that I was reading, right? So I assumed that you would have to disclose your biases, right? And I assumed that they would be building their journalist team out of different types of people on the political spectrum to like have like an actual equal playing field.
I already know what it said.
They said, you're not allowed to have any political affiliation. Yep. You're not allowed to have any bias.
Yep.
You're not allowed to have any political views at all, which is insane and only works for people who the system was built for. So white men.
Yep.
Because otherwise your opinion will always be considered biased. Like, if you're just gonna be saying things like, yeah, they're great, they're doing everything like perfectly, somehow that's okay. And the worst part is that I keep on seeing, like, whenever I open YouTube, I always get like this whole like shelf of Canadian news,
right?
And CBC consistently says, like, not just CBC, it's all our news. It's so bad. Like, why are they so right leaning? It's kind of fucking really disturbing. But all of them are consistently talking about situations in such a warped way. So the most recent example that really made me annoyed was the fact that Canada Post is on strike right now. That's why, by the way, there's delays with the orders for IDBY as well. But the thing is, they went on strike because there's 80,000 people in the union, the Canada Post Union. They are the most efficient postal service we have.
Yep.
And everyone who's important in terms of like passports being sent out and whatever, they're using their service. However, the people are being underpaid as per usual, and the company heads are making bank. So now they're like in negotiation, and they're basically like refusing to negotiate with the union. Like it's been almost 10 days since they started this strike, and people are still like the people from the union are still reporting that they are moving really slowly with them. They don't want to they're not open to like proper negotiations. They are consistently trying to lowball them and stuff like that, which is insane, because this is genuinely like, it's one of the most important services in the country.
Yeah.
And what do our news do? Every time you open your fucking YouTube or you Google anything and it comes up, all the articles are phrased like, oh, the government, or like Ottawa is saying that they have 80,000 passports that they have on hand that they can't send out.
Yeah, as if it's like
because of Canada Post strike.
Poor them.
Poor them. Then another one was like, oh, people are not getting their Christmas stuff sent out because of Canada Post strike, because of the union strike. Then they say something like they try to find the most universally kind of recognized things, like for example, like medical stuff that's being handled by them, something that you don't play with, and they kind of try to frame it as if it's the union's fault, not the company's fault, but the union's fault. So
or their fault.
Yeah, and I'm like
they're the victim.
And I'm just like sitting there like,
this place.
You motherfuckers are genuinely phrasing it like this because you know people are gonna see this and they're gonna like the conclusion is gonna be based on this article, and they're gonna get mad at postal service workers.
Yeah, as if it's their fucking
as
fault.
if it's their fault.
It's like, don't you fucking run this goddamn country? The hell? Like, why are you thinking that everyone is attacking them?
We're in a stupid ass situation where people who are against their own interest because they don't get that this is against their own interest.
Yeah. No, that's what I was talking about. Like, the government literally playing victim in the news is like so funny to me. Because it's just like, you're really going to play victim versus a union of people just wanting to get paid, right? They're just like, oh, like, it's Canada
I don't even know if
Post's fault for you guys not getting your Christmas
I would
gifts
have
on
to
time.
look it up. I don't know what the government is saying.
Okay.
This is the journalists. This is the news stations.
Oh, sorry, the news stations.
Yeah, because I don't know about the government. I
I
don't
thought
know.
for some
I'm not
reason
gonna lie.
For some reason, I thought you said government. The government.
The government, like they report that the government said that they can't send out 80,000 passports.
Oh, passports.
And I don't know if they just said we're holding them or we're not going to be sending them out until the Canada Post is, strike is over.
Man, maybe use UPS or some shit.
That's what I'm saying. I was like,
I don't know, FedEx maybe.
Oh, you don't think that this is an essential thing? You don't think that it's important that they get paid well?
Yeah, they're kind of
then just send it with UPS or FedEx or something else.
It's not like they care about you, the person who doesn't have your passport. They're like using it as ammo, which is like so funny.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, yeah, just send it out with a very expensive service that doesn't actually deliver to your house because they don't have the keys. They don't have like a local mailman that only service one area or anything like that. Just do that. Why don't you?
Yeah.
Because it's too expensive? Because it's like 10 times more expensive? Yeah.
Yeah, I just paid $115 to ship out 3 soft hats to a friend in New York. New York's not that far from here, guys. 5 hours.
The fuck?
With UPS. Canada Post, that would have been like what?
20?
25? So stupid.
And they always deliver.
And they always deliver.
With UPS and
FedEx.
There was another. Oh, DHL. DHL, the amount of times. Because I was offering it on my website.
I hate DHL.
Maybe it was UPS, bitch. It was so frustrating because they would charge the customer. They would tell the customer that this is the amount that you would have to pay to get it delivered. Then they would charge them for that. But then I had to go on their website and fill out all the information. Canada Post has it automatically like connected.
Yep.
But they are doing it separately because they don't want to give you the guarantee of the price, even though you pay extra to get estimations. Estimations are automatic, but they are like a lot more. Like you have to pay at least $100 more for your Shopify shit to get that estimation, which I did pay because I wanted people to have the ability to know how much it would cost. Without having to have this weird kind of like back and forth or whatever the fuck. And they would consistently deliver the package and then send me another invoice telling me that I owe them $20 more. After the fact, after they already told me how much it was gonna be, after everything. And it's not the border extra shit. No. It's just the delivery. So I was like, for the love of God, this is just fucking impossible. And I don't want to like overpraise Canada Post, but I had less issues with them. Touch blue. Because yeah. Oh, it was me, baby. It was me. So the point of this video is to talk about the fact that this warped idea of what luxury is really biting us in the ass. It's really decontextualizes a lot of things. Like it's making things seem what they are not,
Yeah.
to the point where people are so easily swayed into stupid shit, like women being genuinely thinking that it's not capitalism that they're tired of, but feminism. They genuinely think that because they are in the workforce,
And they're not a trad wife.
yeah, that's what it is. And they're genuinely starting to pretend like men being children and being useless as shit is not a problem because, well, he's at work and I'm at home or whatever the fuck. And it's like, no, like home life, it's more than 8 hours.
Yeah.
It's 24 hours. Even if you, subtract the time you're sleeping for 8 hours, it's like, what, 16-hour days? That's still twice as much.
And
it's still not equal.
Yeah. And I have to think about Nara Smith. She's 23 with 3 kids. Bro. They're like...
But the funniest part is that, dude, no one realizes, or no one, like, I mean, a lot of people realize it, but not a lot of people are kind of internalizing it, I feel like, that this girl is so rich, she doesn't have to take care of her kids. That's simply what it is, honestly. Because how on the fuck of the earth would she be making something that they're craving at 9 a.m. with them, sitting around patiently? Her oldest kid is probably like 5 years at maximum. Probably 4. That's a child that's not even, like, still doesn't get that you need to be waiting for things and whatever.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell she could be doing all that.
Yeah, and have her house be that quiet.
Have the house be that quiet, have that much time to film, have that much time to get ready to film.
And for her has to be that spick and span. Nanny probably has 2 babies on the teat. 1 baby like on her lap, she's bouncing. 2 babies on the teat, right? And like is still helping her film. She's operating the camera.
Dude, I swear to God, like, I genuinely, I don't know, it's the amount of people who don't realize, even when they're talking about the 1950s, I'm like, bitch, the idea of 1950s that you have of having this beautiful home and this beautiful kitchen and other things like that, that was not a right of people. That was only for the 1%ers again, or 10%ers.
Yeah, who'll be generous.
Will be generous. Like, why are you lying to yourself? What is the point of constantly fucking lying to yourself? This is what's so disturbing about these people, is that they're just so ready to lie about stupid shit.
So depressing.
Actually, this episode wasn't as depressing as usually, so
yeah, it's actually kind of funny.
We kind of killed it.
Yeah, us every time, like, so fucking angry and sad. Yeah. But we kind of killed it.
Yeah,
though.
like, we're at the end, we were like so like arrogant about it. Like, we kind of fucking killed it actually.
It's just a real ass fucking conversation. Like, guys, don't believe in this shit. Come on. I don't know why you're shocked. Like, there is no other person.
It's so shocking they would vote for a fascist. Really now? Really. The funniest thing is that Nara is like, I think she's half South African and half
German.
Girl, that's a funky ass combination. And being a Mormon on top of that, and like, not even, I don't think she grew up Mormon, she's just learning about it, and she became
Mormon through her marriage.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Lucky Blue Smith grew up in a Mormon, but like his parents were part of a cult.
It's really, really weird to see Nara Smith in that situation, but I definitely understand why. I think that they might have even had meetings with someone who's in charge of promoting Mormonism, because there is a reason as to why they choose to peddle their beliefs. They choose somebody who's models, and especially someone who is not, like, who has, like, one of the partners is not white, because it's a lot more palatable to people to receive this fascist bullshit through a lens of not being fascism, because it's not just blonde and blue-eyed. Like, people have, like, associated it now with this. So having this tokenism at the top is very beneficial for them to be pointing to her and being like, well, she is Mormon, like, so that's fine.
Yeah, we are so modern and open-minded, actually.
Yeah, we're actually cool, and you could be black, whatever. We kind of changed our mind. Yeah. Dude,
you know what I can't get over? Sorry, I have to add this in the podcast. You guys, you have to admit that they're ridiculous. They named their child Slim Easy. What, after a Slim Jim? I love that shit, but like,
it was definitely fucking Lucky's idea.
yeah, it totally was.
Rumble Honey.
Whimsy Lou.
You know, Whimsy Lou and Rumble Honey, not as bad as Slim Izzy. Slim Izzy is so bad. He's gonna be Tom Hanks' son 2.0.
Yeah, he actually is, dude.
He's gonna be like, I am 1/8.
Dude, Rolling Stones made an article about them, and this is the title of the article: "Meet the hot young trad wife making everyone on the internet mad."
They're trying to position it as like people are just like haters. That's also like one of the funniest thing about like the way that Americans approaching this type of shit is that they're always like, they're just mad because you're killing it.
Because like Lucky Blue Smith has been like he's existed for so long, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Since 1998. Just kidding, but like he was like praised on Tumblr for so long, and I remember like looking into him and reading that he grew up and maybe it was like Joaquin Phoenix also grew up in this cult. Just correct me if I'm wrong. If you guys know what I'm talking about, put it in the comments. But anyways, I don't give a shit. He's still fucked, so whatever.
It's just
yeah.
In any case, that's what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Like.
Oh yeah,
subscribe.
like.
Oh, not like. Give us 5 stars.
Give us 5 stars. But that's for YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. Yes.
Yeah. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Comment, I guess, or like send it to someone who's gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, be nice to us. Just kidding. Lisa's fine. There's nothing that will hurt her, but I'm so sensitive, man. Like I do be getting hurt. Okay. Actually, you know what? Talk shit, get hit. Fine. I'll take it.
Anyway, have a good day, you guys. Bye.